This podcast is part of the Soul Zone Network.
Hello, and welcome to the Butterfly Connection.
Connecting your soul to source with Molly Rahe-Randall and Sarah Courtney.
We are all connected, and we are not alone. What if you could rebirth your soul, gain movement in your life, and reconnect with your authentic self?
Join us each week as we connect with Source to answer the burning questions that lie deep within us and gain clarity and wisdom to soar to our greatest potential.
It's time to fly.
This is BK3, Letting Go of Labels. Hello. This is Molly Rahe-Randall flying solo today. I was thinking about what today's topics should be, and I asked for guidance, and they said today would be a great day to talk about letting go of other people's ideas of who they feel you should be so that you can truly connect with who you know deep within your soul you are. So let's just take a minute and digest that. Letting go of other people's ideas of who they feel you should be so that you can truly connect with who you know deep within your soul you are. As you're listening to this, are you one of those people that has been able to figure this out and let go of other people's ideas and feelings of who they think you are? Or are you still one of these people who hear other people's ideas of who they think you are and you're still playing that role? I think it can be very easy to fall into this role of other people's ideas of you. And when you do fall into that box that you're put into, a lot of times it's really easy to forget who you really are. And I want to talk a little bit more in depth about that today and give you some things to potentially think about and consider and some questions to answer and whatnot. So, the big thing about today, and not just today, but, generations before us, is there's always these stereotypes of how people think that you should be and these expectations of how they think you should be. And this can start as early as very early childhood. In fact, this can start as early as your mother's pregnancy. I'm sure we've all heard those stories of how it was to carry you in the womb. Were you an easy baby? Was it an easy pregnancy? Was it a difficult pregnancy? You may have heard things such as, "This was the hardest pregnancy ever. I threw up every single day that you were in me, and I just couldn't wait for you to come out." Or, "You were super easy. I wasn't tired. I did not get sick. It was such a good pregnancy." Well, if you think about it, a lot of times we think, okay, we're just talking about how we're feeling. And I'm guilty of this as well, even with my pregnancy with my kids. But really what we're doing is we're already starting to put a label on what we think our child's personalities are going to be. So for instance, for me, my girls were born 3 months early, and my one daughter broke her water. They have no idea why. And she was incredibly feisty. They would wrap her up in a blanket. And this child at her lowest weight was 1.5 pounds and 12 inches. So you could only imagine just how teeny tiny she was. They would wrap her up, and she did not want to be wrapped up. So she would squirm around until her feet got kicked out. And then they had this little tiny, I guess it was a blanket that they used, almost like a dishcloth, that they rolled up and would put at the bottom of the preemie's feet in the incubators so that they, didn't slide or anything. Well, she wanted to have her feet propped up. So needless to say, the nurse would wrap her up. She would wiggle her feet out, prop them up on this rolled up, like kind of like dishcloth. Then the nurse would again roll and tighten, put her in that cocooned kind of blanket wrap that we do with babies. And she again would wiggle her way out and put her feet on the roll. We used to, joke all the time that, oh, you were so feisty. This is what you wanted, and you knew what you wanted, even at 1.5 pounds. And that's right. That is what she was doing. But, if you keep telling your child, oh, you're feisty and you're stubborn and you're this and you're that. So what happens is the child starts to take ownership of that label. And they start to go, okay, well, my mom or my dad or my grandma or whoever keeps saying, well, this is how you were when you're younger. And then they start to go, oh, well, then that must be who I am. That must be who I am. Or you have a child who's difficult. Oh, you're such a difficult child. You were so difficult. It was so difficult to get you to eat. It was so difficult to get you to sleep. It was so difficult to do this, that. The kid starts to take the ownership of that role. And then more and more, the parent keeps going, wow, this kid is really difficult. Well, you told that kid that kid's going to be difficult. So that's what starts to happen. Or, oh, you were such a sweet child. You're such a sweet child. That sounds like a really nice thing to say to your kid, but think about it. What if that child someday is angry? Or what if that child someday is sad? If you keep telling that child she's like sweet, happy, he or she's a sweet, happy child, you're such a sweet, happy child, it's almost as if we're telling that child, you can't feel sad. You can't feel angry. You're a sweet, happy child. That's who you are. That's what you're supposed to be. And like I said, I'm guilty of doing this sometimes. And after really thinking and reflecting upon this, I need to stop. Because how can we truly find ourselves and who we want to be if we come out of the womb or we're in the womb and people are already starting to put labels on us who they perceive we should be? And then we carry that. We carry that through elementary school and middle school and high school and adulthood. And there has to come a time where you need to take a minute and go, am I really who everybody thinks that I am? Am I really who everybody thinks I should be? I'm just not that nice person who says yes all the time. Or I am that nice person that says yes all the time. Why? I don't want to be saying yes all the time. Sometimes when I do say yes, I really mean no. But everybody thinks that I'm just the yes person. So I guess I just need to keep being the yes person. No, you don't have to. You do not have to be the yes person. If you are that yes person, you can say no. It might be hard. It might feel really uncomfortable at first, but you can say no. If you go within yourself and you say, do I really want to do this? Is this meaningful to me? Is this something I really, truly want to be doing? If that resonates a big, loud no to you, just say no. Just say no. People are probably not going to like it. In fact, you're probably going to, who knows what kind of response you might get. They might not say anything. You might get a look. They may try to coerce you to change your mind. Just stand your ground. Stand your ground. And remind yourself in that moment when that person might be making you, or trying to make you feel horrible about your decision of saying no. Just keep telling yourself, this is the right thing for me. This is the right thing for me. Other people's thoughts, other people's feelings of you, other people's perceptions of you, they don't really matter. Not if you are truly happy within who you are. If you know who you are and you know where you want to be, and you know where you're going in life, if people don't agree with that, they're entitled to feel that way. But that does not mean that you have to take ownership of how they think you should be. Because you don't. You don't. And if they don't like what your choices are, then maybe they're not the right people to keep in your life. A lot of times what happens when we start to stand in our power and we start to stand up for what we believe in, and we start to take the time to actually authentically speak our truth and not just say yes because we're trying to please somebody. A lot of times the people who were using you or didn't see you for who you were, they usually go away. A lot of times it just naturally happens. You just don't hear from them anymore. You don't see from them anymore. Someone you work with, they might not be approaching you like they were because you're standing your ground. And that's a beautiful thing. So let's go back to what the original topic is. Letting go of other people's ideas of who they feel you should be so that you can truly connect with who you know deep within your soul you are. So think about this. Think about letting go of the labels. Think about wiping the slate clean, completely clean. And a great exercise for this is to literally write it all out. Set some time aside, some quiet time aside where you will not be interrupted. And just start writing. Just start writing all those things you heard over and over again as a child. Things that just don't sit right within you. Who you should be. How you should be acting. This is what is expected of you. This is what we want for you. Write it all down and look at it. And read each one. And as you read each one, if that doesn't even feel right, take a big black Sharpie and just cross it out and cross it out. And if you get to the bottom of that page and there's nothing left, nothing felt good that you wrote down, celebrate. You have a chance now to write down who you are or who you want to be or what feels right to you. So, take some time and clear that clutter that's filled up in your mind of what everybody says and thinks and feels you should be. Take a piece of paper and write down, what do I really want? Where do I want to be? What direction do I want to go in? You might not have the answer right away. You might say a lot of, I don't know. I don't really know. I've never asked myself this question before. Maybe you have asked yourself this question and the answer is still, I don't know. That's okay. Sometimes the best way to handle that, though, is to literally just write. Where do I want to be? Take a minute and clear your mind and just sit down and take a couple deep breaths in. Go find a meditation where you can clear the noise from your mind. Grab that piece of blank paper and write down, what is it that I want? Ask that question, and whatever comes to your brain, just write it down. Don't even think about it. Just keep writing. Keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. And when you feel complete, stop and read it. See what it says. You might be really surprised with what you want. Or you can, even ask, where do I want to be? What direction do I want to go into? Any of these questions. Just sit down and reflect upon them and see where you're at. And remember, in order, you can't just snap your fingers and suddenly all the labels everybody gives you go away, and suddenly you can connect deep within your soul. And, it's a process. It's a process. You might be ripping labels away for weeks, months, however long it takes. It depends on the amount of labels that you have been given. And, the connecting with deep within your soul, that's something that takes time and practice, and we can keep doing, and doing and doing. And I really feel like utilizing things such as meditation or yoga or a salt bath or reading, anytime you can get any kind of space and quiet time for self-care, this can really help you to go deep within your soul to really hear what you want. So, this is something, like I said, that really is a process and really takes dedication to you. But until we all start to learn self-love and self-care and consistency in self-love and self-care, it's hard to let go of other people's ideas of who they feel we should be. But our souls are waiting. They're waiting for us to be ready to listen. And more of us every day are starting to listen. And the emotions start to come up and you start to rip those labels away. And the more you do that, the freer you will start to feel. So think about it this way. Just because society says you should be this way, or you should be that way, or you should have this job, or these are the grades you need in order to be successful, or whatever you hear, if that's not what's in your heart and where you feel is truly your purpose in this lifetime, just toss the ideas out. Do what feels right for you. Because as you do what feels right for you, the doors will open and the blessings will come. Remember, the possibilities are endless. You can be whatever you want to be. So take this week and reflect upon, are you happy with where you are in life? Is everything the way you want it? And if the answer is no, what do you want? Where do you want to go? What do you want to be doing? Set some goals and get excited that life can be and is exciting. If you're sitting at home and are unhappy about the way things may look, you can change that. You can do anything. And if you believe that and feel that, the miracles will happen. Remember, you are an amazing person. You are beautiful. And you have so much love and light to give to this world. So don't wait any longer. Take those labels. Take those ideas people have about you and set yourself free. And be you. Be you and give the world your light. Shine your light. And those who see your light will walk with you on your journey. Until next time, I hope that you will be able to set some of these goals for yourself. And I look so forward to hearing about them. Thank you so much for listening. I cannot wait to come back next week with Sarah, where we will have more wisdom for you. Until then, feel free to check out my free class, I Love You More. You can find it on my website at tuneinwithmolly.com. Have a blessed week full of possibilities. Thank you for listening to The Butterfly Connection with Molly Rahe-Randall and Sarah Courtney.
Check out our website at thebutterflyconnection.com and download our free weekly guided journaling exercises.
We would love to hear from you. Subscribe to our podcast and give us a review. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
And join us next week for another soul-connecting conversation.